Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Modern on a Budget. Today we're going to be talking about the modern version of my one and only commander deck. Now, I love this card. It's a Prime Speaker Vannifar. Now, I'm really gonna cruise by a lot of these cards because they do a lot of the same thing, but in order to fully understand this deck, I really have to read Vannifar, and I'm really going to try to keep this video short, but Prime Speaker Vannifar is a very complicated deck. So Prime Speaker Vannifar says, tap, sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only time you could cast a sorcery. So, at sorcery speed, we can sack our 1-drop to go grab a 2-drop, or we can sack a 3-drop to grab a 4-drop out of our deck. 4-drop to 5-drop, 5-drop to 6-drop. It's fairly straightforward once you read it or once it's explained to you, but you might just stare at it like a block of text. There's another card like this called Birthing Pod, but it's been banned in the format. So the idea that we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to get Prime Speaker Vannifar out fairly early with our mana dorks, and then we're going to be trying to untap with her so that we can go ahead and go infinite with infinite creatures when we untap with her on that turn. So I'm going to be explaining how we're going to be doing that by first saying that we have 1-drops, 2-drops, 3-drops, 4-drops, 5-drop, we have 2 different 5-drops and a 6-drop. So the idea with this deck is that you're trying to go you have Elvish Mystics on turn 1, and then turn 2 you could grab Wall of Roots, more Mystics, but I think really the earliest we're going to be playing our Vannifar is going to be on turn 3. Then we untap on turn 4, and what we can do is we can sack it anywhere on our curve, but what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start as low as we can. Okay, let's say we have a 1-drop, because if you have a 3-drop and you untap with Vannifar, you can sack that 3-drop, but I'm just going to explain how to start at the 2-drop if you need to. So you sack Elvish Mystic to go search for Quarter Monitor. When it enters the battlefield, untap target artifact or creature you control. So what's going to happen is this is going to enter, and it's going to untap Prime Speaker Vannifar, which will allow Prime Speaker Vannifar to tap again to sacrifice Quarter Monitor, grabbing a choice between 2 creatures. One of them is Bounding Krasis. When Bounding Krasis enters the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature. Now that's the safer route that you can do, to just directly untap Vannifar, but what you can also do is you can grab Renegade Rallier, okay? Which says, when Renegade Rallier enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, return target permanent with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So what you can do is you can sacrifice Llanowar Elves to go grab Quarter Monitor, to go grab Renegade Rallier, to bring back your Quarter Monitor to the battlefield, untapping Prime Speaker Vannifar. And at that point, the difference between Renegade Rallier and Bounding Krasis is that Renegade Rallier will now say that you have 2 creatures on the board besides Vannifar, which is important. Bounding Krasis is in there just as an extra combo piece. And this is where you're going to want to go if your opponent has spot graveyard removal, because you can try to target your monitor, and then if they exile it from your graveyard instant speed, then your chain stops. Anyway, so from the 3-drop, you will be sacrificing Renegade Rallier to, again, Prime Speaker Vannifar. If what I'm saying doesn't make sense to you, go ahead and look up Prime Speaker Vannifar. Just quickly pause the video, go look it up, and just read it. Take the time. But you're going to sacrifice Renegade Rallier to go grab Breaching Hippocamp, which when it enters the battlefield, untap another target creature you control. So what you're going to do is untap Prime Speaker Vannifar yet again. And at this point, you can go search for one of 2 5-drops. One of those 5-drops is Kiki-Jiki. So if you were able to successfully pull off Renegade Rallier, then you want to make sure that you grab Kiki-Jiki. So when you play Kiki-Jiki, it's going to enter, and you're still going to have that quarter monitor from earlier. So it's going to happen because Kiki-Jiki says haste, tap, put a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control onto the battlefield. That token is haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Kiki-Jiki himself has haste, so when he enters, you can tap him to copy quarter monitor. Monitor enters the battlefield, untap Kiki-Jiki, tap Kiki-Jiki, create a copy of monitor, untap, and it goes infinite. Now, the purpose of this is just so that you can create infinite quarter monitors and just swing in and kill your opponent. Another thing you can do, because Kiki-Jiki is just a 2-drop, is you can just keep scaling up, and you can find Woodland Bellower to then go grab another 3-drop to continue going up the cycle. You do have only 1 Breaching Hippocamp. You do have Restoration Angels, though. But if you go to Woodland Bellower is a bit stronger in the sense of it won't die to a lightning bolt. But it's also not a way to go infinite. The main part of the deck is to scale up and just go from Elvish Mystic, Monitor, Rallier, grab Monitor, grab Hippocamp, grab Kiki-Jiki, tap to create a copy of Monitor, and create infinite monitors. Because the monitors will untap Kiki-Jiki when they enter. And then you'll just tap to create a copy of quarter monitor. Zealous Conscripts is a 5-drop that will gain control of target permanent until end of turn, untap it, gains haste. This is a nice card because if you're going against, for example, Death Shadow, you can just copy their Scourge of Skyclaves, or probably Death Shadow because they've probably gotten you fairly low. But you can just take their big creature and you can just take control of it and swing in. Which will do a lot of damage. But normally it'll be to gain control of Vannifar to untap Vannifar. We have some spell support through Postmortem Lunge. Return target creature card with mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. This can give us like an instant, hey, if they removed Kiki-Jiki, it can come back. Or come back with a Vannifar, give it haste, combo off. Court of Calling is to allow us to search for our combo pieces. We really want to have Vannifar in every opening hand, but if we have Court of Calling, we can keep a hand without Vannifar. Next up are our lands. We have some Pain lands. We have Scrying lands to hit our combo. You really want to scry away anything that's part of your combo. You don't want to accidentally draw it. Riverglide Pathway is a 1-of. It gives us access to red mana in case we need to hardcast Conscripts or Kiki-Jiki. Island Forest, white mana to hardcast Renegade Rally or Restoration Angel. Pathway to have access to red mana, but also green mana. The heaviest color in this deck is green, so those pathways are what we're emphasizing. They also just happen to be... Are they cheaper? I think they might, no, yeah, they're a little cheaper than the Izzet pathways, so we lucked out there. If you want to know how to get a budget mana base for fairly cheap, those pathways are really good. Then that's it for the main board. It's really just that one combo. It is kind of a glass cannon, but it's also a very fast, very fun way to just combo out and go infinite. And to just keep searching your deck. Our sideboard is... I don't know why we have 14 cards of the sideboard. I think there's supposed to be 2 Aether Gusts. So 2 Repeal, just to bounce something to their hand in case there's a, for example, Ashiok, which makes it so we can't search. We can bounce it back to the hand. Aether Gust, there's supposed to be 2 of these in here. It's a way to just make it so that we can delay them a turn. We can bounce their... we can bounce a Blood Moon. We can bounce any number of things with this. It's very good against red or green. Dampening Sphere against... Dampening Sphere is going to be against... Storm or Tron. It delays Tron just enough where we can combo out. It won't delay it forever, but just enough where we can combo out. Mystical Disputes, just as a way to, like, instant speed, just counter what they're doing. Sometimes we just need that in order to have our turn. If we cast Vannifar and untap with Vannifar, then we can usually tap our mana dorks in order to produce mana pre-combo, just so that we have it open. We also probably have lands on the board where we can use it, because none of our combo requires mana. So we can have this up all turn. If they try to remove our Kiki-Jiki, we can bring these in. Thrashing Brontodon is a searchable card with Vannifar and with Postmortem Lunge and Court of Calling. It's just some artifact and enchantment destruction. It's just a way for us to have a tutorable answer to their threat. And Leyline is Sanctity, so that we bring these in against any black deck and probably basically burn Storm and any black deck. Just so that they can't make us discard, and so that we can't be burned out by spells. But overall, that is the deck. It's a very sweet combo, and I could dive in and talk about this deck for way longer than I did, but this is just an introduction to the deck. If you have any questions on how it works, certain combos, certain card choices, please let me know below. I have a lot of fun doing this, and I love the two comments I've gotten so far. I'll catch you later.